By now you have had a little bit of experience with the sitting meditation, also with the walking meditation, or with the mindfulness in daily activity. So far with the instructions I have given you, are there any questions?
Venerable, I just want to make sure, when we say lift, swing and step, do we think first and walk, or we walk first and think? That means you lift the leg, okay, lifting. Swing, swinging. Step, stepping. So I shouldn't be like lift, then I lift. Swing, then I swing. Step, then I step.
Yes, thank you for this question. This also brings up an important topic, which is the naming or labeling. This is something that we can do to help our mindfulness stay with the experience, stay with the object, let's say in this case with the movement of the foot. And this labeling should happen concurrently with the movement. So it's not that I lift the foot and then say lifting. It's not that I say lifting and then I lift the foot, but it's while I am lifting, I go lifting. While I call it pushing forward, while I'm pushing the foot forward, at the same time I label pushing. And while I put the foot down, at that time dropping. So it's always at the same time. It's, just to help the mind really be mindful of that lifting movement. And the naming, the labeling, should be like in the very back of your mind, very soft and gentle, let's say like 5% of the mindfulness, but 95% should be with the actual movement. So the labeling is just to support the mindfulness to be in contact with that lifting movement or the pushing movement. With the instructions I have given you for the walking, when we do not observe the step in 3 parts, which is lifting, swinging, whatever you call it, placing, then it would be as you take a step with the right foot, right, left, or if you are quite slow, then you can repeat it. Right, 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 left, 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 right, right, right. In this way. So the main thing is that the mindfulness is in contact with the actual movement. And labeling it or naming it helps the mindfulness to be really here and not think about something else. It's like when you have a young dog, which is not yet trained so well, a puppy, and when you go walking with the puppy, then it runs off here and it runs off there, and so then you take the dog, the puppy, on the short leash. Make it very short, then it can't run off here and there. And with the labeling, it's a bit like this. You take the mindfulness on the short leash, lifting or right, right, left, left, so that you know what you are actually observing. Does this answer your question? Yes, then please.
Good morning. When I was walking, I find out that the last step I always have this lower down together with my left and right leg. Actually, when, for example, I lower down, actually my left leg, I felt that also lowering down. They are starting the process of lowering down, then rising. That's why sometimes my mind go to, I supposed to finish one leg, then start the other one. But I can feel that the last step actually involve both legs. When you start stepping, it's lowering. When I start the example, the right leg, when I'm lowering, I find that my left leg started to ready for rising. But they are like happening together. Yes. So when I press my left leg about to rise, so my mind always watching both, or it's only let's finish the pressing, then maybe I might miss the rising.
Yes.
That is natural.
So in regard to this question, it's like we have a camera, wide angle, then we see the whole person walking, but then we zoom in and just zoom on this leg which makes the step. And so we keep the zoom on that leg until the step is finished, and then we move it to the other leg to be there for the beginning of the next step. So zooming in on the left leg and finishing the step, things happen already here on the right leg, but we do not pay attention to it. No need to also notice what is happening there. Or maybe you notice something, but you can ignore it, leave it aside, but be fully present with the left leg. And you can ask more, but I just want to add in regard to the labeling, the naming, this can also be applied in the sitting meditation, for example, with the rising and falling movement of the belly. So, as you are aware that the belly is rising, at the same time, very gently, very quietly, you notice or you label rising. And then you notice how the belly is falling, and you label falling, rising, falling. It always goes together when the movement is happening. Sometimes the movement can be quite slow, so then you can label it 2 or 3 times. Rising, rising, rising. Falling, falling, falling. Rising, rising. Like this. And any other object can be labeled if there is pain in the knee. As I said, bring your mindfulness there, observe, watch the pain, feel into it, and you might label it pain, pain, or piercing, piercing, or heat, heat, tension, tension, tension. So also, with any other object, you can use the labeling to help your mindfulness to stay with that experience. And the chance that the mind will go off and think about something else are smaller. Another question?
Good morning, teacher. My question is about the object, how to deal with the object. Example, I noticed, okay, I got a pain, a dormant leg, and then I was trying, okay, I got the dormant leg, and then for some time it felt a little bit not part of me anymore, but then it came, and then the tension, and the mind is like making conclusions or judgments about it. So I would like to understand how we could work with it, not to be wondering, because then some stories start, and then I'm like, no, let it go. But at some point, it feels like a battle. So how can we work with this and not struggle, with the mind?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
So with an experience like this, pain in the leg, yes, bring the mindfulness there, go into the pain, and as we say, then thoughts about the pain, what caused the pain or what will happen like this. So all these thoughts and worries and proliferations happen. Later on, we deal with it, we make the thoughts, the worry, the object of our meditation, but not yet today. Because to settle the mind, we don't want to go already in all the mental stuff that arises. For the time being, you can try to leave these thoughts aside or not really paying attention to them, but rather stay with the physical sensation in the body. In Vipassana meditation, we also need to deal with the thoughts and the emotions, which is very important, but as we go in gradually, for today, we leave it aside. We will go into the silent sitting meditation, and there will be more opportunities to ask questions. So again, settle into your posture, on your cushion, or the chair, the bench. Take a few moments to feel the sitting posture, to make sure that the back is upright and straight, the head is in line with the spine. Imagine that this golden thread on top of the head is pulling slightly upwards. This lengthens your spine, makes the body upright, but yet it should be relaxed. The shoulders are relaxed, the hands are resting comfortably in the lap or on the legs. Eyes are gently closed. And then you may bring your mindfulness to the belly and start being mindful of these movements in the belly, the rising, the falling movement. Do not force the breath in any way. Just let it breathe naturally. You may place your hands on your belly to feel this abdominal movement a bit more clearly. we end the sitting meditation, which is at the same time the beginning of the walking meditation, which follows now. Do the walking meditation as I have explained before. And after walking, it goes into our having lunch meditation. Basically, be present, be mindful with whatever you do, taking the food, sitting down, eating the food, and so on. Be as present as possible. And also here during these daily activities, we can use the labeling as a support for our mindfulness, to really be present with what we are doing. So for example, when we reach out the arm, to scoop the food, being mindful of that movement, so at the same time we can label it, reaching, scooping, taking, or when we are eating, taking the food, lifting the arm, placing the food inside the mouth, and as we are chewing, be mindful of this movement and what happens inside the mouth when you chew, so it can be accompanied by the labeling, chewing, 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 so that you really stay with that activity and do not think about something else. So it's like taking the puppy on the short leash. Chewing, 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 chewing. Swallowing as you swallow. And then again, taking the next spoonful of food. And when we are eating something, anytime we are eating, we can reflect that. We can do a number of reflections, but for example, one reflection is just to be grateful to the people who have prepared the food. So here it means the cooks who are in the kitchen, who are preparing the food, cooking the food, who have done the shopping, planning, and so on. So have gratitude to them. We are the beneficiaries. We just can go there, help to the food, eat it. We didn't have to do any work. And you as householders, you know how much work and planning and organizing goes until the food is on the table, on the plate. So, once you have taken the food and sit at your place, take a few moments just to have gratitude to the cooks who have done all this work, prepared this lovely food. And then start mindfully eating this food. And really being mindful of the eating, of all the movements and then the sensations, the taste and so on. So being mindful while eating is a way of repaying back your gratitude. They have done their work, and what you can contribute is really eating this food mindfully, appreciate it. So then we go on walking, then eating, taking rest. We come back here to the hall together.